what is the milestone? First of all, let me just open the project file. This is not the one. No. I have to open in. This is PPT. The PPT work we will do in the last class. Yeah, here it is. So we will see the milestone 2. This is so easy. Milestone 2 will be done. 3, sorry. Test the switches. So this one is only to verify the configurations we have built up. Okay, just to verify. The first task is verify running and startup configuration. So what you have to do in all 4 devices, router and 3 switches, we need to show running config and startup config together of all the 4 devices. Okay. For 11th one, verify routing table or trace route. I will be showing up the samples also, that how you can do that. 11th one, you need to give the show IP route, and you can give trace route also, trace route of ping if possible, that's fine. Although they are optional, but you can give the trace route also. Check interface status. You need to show the interface status of the router. You can share actually. For the router only you can show the interface status. Verify VLAN configuration. You have to show the VLANs of all 3 switches and show log. And you need to show the logging is configured on all the 3 switches and router or not. If it is not configured, you can just run a simple command logging and that's debugging. Okay, so you need to enable the logging on router as well as on 3 switches. Okay, we have seen in the recent the last lecture how can we enable the logging. So the logging need to be configured and you need to show log out there. The command you need to run show log. The milestone 3 only we will be doing right now, and I will be showing up to you how you need to mention the things. Okay, so it will be easy for you to do that. Verify VLAN configuration as it is written. You need to show VLAN command. So for the idea, you can mention things like this. This is second. Yeah. The first task of milestone 3, you need to show running config and startup config. Okay. text we can write down here, and you need to show the running config as well as startup config for both of the switches. So like this you can mention. On the left side you have running config, on the right side you have startup config. You can take the screenshot like this and you can mention them together. For switch 1, for switch 2, switch 3. Okay. Mention for router also. The person has not mentioned for router, you need to do that for router also. Verify routing table or trace route. Okay. So you need to show the routing table on the router, and you can show the trace route and the ping if possible. Although there is only one thing we need to show, but if you will be able to show the trace route or the ping, it will be really good. There you will be needed the configuration fully working, else it will not be able to do not even ping or the trace. Nothing will work. Check interface status. You just need to show interface status. Okay. This is for router, and like this you can go for the switch. The command is show IP interface brief. Which one? 2, 3. Verify VLAN configuration. You should show VLAN on all the switches out there. Switch 1, 2, and 3. Show log. The last thing you need to show login. Logging should be enabled there. Okay. On all the devices, and it's done. Not keep panic. Please see all the tasks and see if there is anything you want to ask. It is like on the 10th one, you need to show the startup config and running config side by side for all the 4 devices. Your task 11, you need to show routing table on the router and trace route or ping from PC to PC. Those screenshots you need to give. In this you need to talk about show IP interface brief on all the 4 devices. In this you need to run show VLAN on all the 3 devices, 3 switches. And here you need to show login. Okay, so just whatever configuration we have already built on, we need to just show some data from there. Anything you guys want to ask again? Exactly. You do not have to put screenshots. You do not have to put screenshots in the milestone 2, but the configuration should be able to ping. The configuration should be the working one. So if your configuration is not working, you can just ask me. We will have a screen share and we will find out what is the issue out there. Are you guys good to go with this? Milestone 3? Expectation result is like the running config and the startup config should be same. Routing table should have all the sub interfaces. In show IP interface brief, I will be able to check what are the IP addresses you have assigned. In the verify VLAN configuration, you will be able to tell what are the VLANs you have created. Those are the expectations. Just instead of in the 11th task you need to do on the router, and rest all tasks should be done on all 4 devices. When you show VLAN, you are expected to show that on a particular switch, if we are talking about switch 2 on the left side, the 10th number and the 11th number should be in the VLAN 10 and 11. The VLAN 10, 11, 12, 13 is created on all the switches and their respective interfaces are assigned into the VLANs. If you are able to ping, the expected results are there. So you don't miss anything. If you are able to ping, it is working as per the expectation. So people who are good to go, meaning all the 4 devices interface only, no, the PC to PC you should be able to ping. PC to PC. So now you can tell me who is having